All right, welcome to another episode of Rooting for Laundry. I am your host, Johnny McDonald. You can follow us at Root for Laundry on IG and Twitter, as it says on the ticker. Like and subscribe and share to my YouTube page, Johnny McDonald. So, thank you for joining us. This is episode number 24. So, thank you again for joining us. Today's guest is comedian. He has a big comedy weekend coming up on the island. Give it up for Erick Johanson. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Johnny?
Thank you for joining me, man. So
Thanks for
you're
having me.
you're from Long Island. What part of Long Island?
Lindenhurst, so Suffolk County.
Lindenhurst, Suffolk County. But you're a Rangers fan. How did that become to be?
It's kind of funny. My mom, Islander fan, huge Islander fan through the 80s. I have a brother. He sided with her. My dad's a Ranger fan. I sided with him, and it's been like that ever since.
All right, cool, man. So it's a little division in your house, I guess.
Oh, dude, it's hockey season. It's World War III at our house.
Wow. So I'll start, I guess, with the year they won the cup, 1993-94. There's Mike Keenan's the coach, and they also changed goalies. John Van Beesbroek was the goalie prior to those years, and Mike Richter is now the number one goalie. And they have it's mostly Edmonton team: Mark Messier, Adam Graves, Jeff Bukaboom, all those guys. And then they have a great year. They win the President's Trophy, best record in the league, and then the playoff run is crazy. They sweep the Islanders first round,
which is beautiful.
beat Wash. How was, like, I know you were very young, but do you remember the atmosphere in your house during that first round?
I do. I just remember my brother actually didn't convert to an Islander fan until he was a little older. So at that point he was a Ranger fan. So my mom, kind of being a mom, she's
brainwashed him.
Yeah. And she wanted us to be happy and us to win. So there wasn't too much turmoil there. But as the years got on, it got a little testy in the house.
Okay, so like during that series, it was just pandemonium in your house.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
probably it was just so one-sided too. So
yeah, it was. I think we outscored them by almost 20 goals in that series.
Oh,
I believe Richter had 2 shutouts too as well.
Wow, yeah. Richter was the man. So then that Devil series, that Eastern Conference Final series, or was it still Wales Conference? I
think it was Eastern Conference. I think.
Okay,
it could have been Wales. I don't know. Like I said, I was young.
Yeah, but that series is exhausting. They go full 7 games with the Devils, and they even go that game 7, that legendary call from Howie Rose, Stefan Matteau. Game decided 1. They score that game. Matteau scores that game-winning goal. And talk about that moment, if you were.
It goes back to the guarantee that really set us off, and it just shows what type of captain Mark Messier was. Not only to guarantee the win, which I think it's the greatest guarantee in sports. I don't think it's a biased take. I think it's a realistic take. To go out there and say we're going to win this game and basically put the team on your back, it just shows what type of player he was. And that fueled us into Game 7, and like Matteau putting that puck into the net, almost relief. I think the word is probably relief because I always talk to my dad about the Rangers and that year, and he said putting that puck in, that puck doesn't go in because 50-year drought, it's going the other way. And this puck finally goes in, and here we are. We're going to the promised land. We're going to the Stanley Cup Finals, and there it was.
And the Stanley Cup Finals, they match up with the Vancouver Canucks, and it's another series. Rangers lose the first game, and then they come back and win the next 3. So they're up 3-1. But Vancouver wins Game 5, and you're like, uh-oh, the curse is still. We really are cursed.
Right.
And then they win Game 6, And then Game 7 happens, and then Messier pulls out with guarantee, a la Joe Namath, with the Jets. And Game 7, they pull it off. Do you remember? How was that like watching that game? Even though when you rewatch it, how do you feel about that?
I still get butterflies every time. It's still, even though the result, it's still nerve-wracking because that there was I don't know if you remember, there was an icing call that really shouldn't have been. And in fact, John Davidson says, the guy stopped skating. This shouldn't be an icing call. So I just go back to my dad. I remember my dad. He's in the hallway. He's eyes closed, down on my knees. My mom's like, "What are you stressed out about?" It's like, you don't understand this. We had a 50-year drought. There's still time on the clock. These guys can still put the puck in the net. And luckily, they draw back the face-off. The puck goes to the boards, and the waiting is over, as Sam Rosen said. And this one will last a lifetime, and the confetti fell. And you know what? That cup really did last a lifetime. That was...
Yeah, people still talk, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was big. And then, you see Messier with the cup, and then they have the whole parade in Manhattan. And I remember because the Knicks were in that... were in the finals as well, and they went to 7 games, but unfortunately they didn't pull it off. So that's summer of '94. Oh man, I was still, I would still be talking about it. Unfortunately, see, the difference is, the Rangers pulled it through, and even though it seems like a long time now, you could still go back and talk about it. Whereas a Knicks fan, you could talk about the memories aren't good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. So Brian Leetch, one of my favorite players, I think probably my favorite player. It's a mainstay, MVP. It was just a beautiful thing watching. And then the following year, it kind of starts, the honeymoon is short-lived.
For sure.
Mike Keenan leaves after a dispute with GM Neil Smith, and Colin Campbell becomes the new head coach. And then those following 2 seasons, they make it to the playoffs, but each season they lose in the second round.
Right.
So I'll move forward to another change in 96, 97. They used those alternate jerseys, the one that you're wearing, the Lady Liberty one.
Greatest jersey. I love this jersey, man. I wish they still had it.
Yeah, I think the fact that they found out the Statue of Liberty is technically in Jersey now, they probably like, you know what?
Nah, we can't do this.
Let's we can't do that. But yeah, hockey jerseys are very they're always cool because it's it's a full covering and you can just put like cool stuff on it. So hockey jerseys are really fun to have. But that alternate jersey debuts, and then Rangers signed the great one, Wayne Gretzky, the greatest player to ever lace him up. Man, how did you feel when they?
Well, to me, it was exciting. You think you're going to get championships out of this. I mean, sure, he was past his prime at the point he came to us.
Yeah, kind of Jordan on the Wizards.
Right? Yeah, pretty much. He's linking back up with Messier. They've had great success together. That year, they go to the conference finals, and they end up losing. And it hurts because even though Gretzky was out of his prime, there was a series versus the Panthers. I forget what game it was. During that playoff run, and he had a hat trick, and it just looked natural. The guy is just
You'll never lose that. You'll never lose that. Yep.
Exactly. So the fact that we didn't really go that far with them, or even won a cup, is kind of one of the first major letdowns in my memory with the Rangers.
Yeah. So it is, even though they were, kind of overachieved a bit. I mean, with those guys, like, a little past their prime. But they did. They make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that'll be the last time the Rangers go to the playoffs till 2006. And then after that, Messier signs as a free agent with Vancouver. Talked about, were you heartbroken when Messier left?
It was weird. You talk about Jordan and the Wizards jersey being weird. This was for me. That was it was an odd sight, man, because sports is a business, and unfortunately, sometimes business deals don't go the way you want them to, and see him go that was
can't
rough.
Stay forever. Yeah. I'll fast forward to the 1998-99 season. Gretzky plays his final season, and then on April 18th at the Garden, Gretzky's final game. That's more. I remember watching it. I remember it was such a big deal. When that game came on, it was like a Sunday afternoon, and just see the emotion on Gretzky's face skating for the last time. Where were you when that happened?
I actually had a soccer game, so I remember recording it and watching it when I went home. And a little backstory to that: my dad was like, "Oh, I'm going to take you to go see Wayne Gretzky. We're going to go." First time I went to a Ranger game, he got home tickets, and he was a healthy scratch that night. And I just remember being like super upset. I cried my eyes out. I was about 10 or 11 years old.
Oh man.
And I was hurt, but when he took his final bows, you look at you think about it, you're like, this is one of the greatest players to ever play. Are we ever going to see somebody like this again? And to be honest, I don't think we have. Maybe the closest thing I've seen would be maybe Crosby or Ovechkin. Yeah, I would probably say he's more like Crosby. He's not he's not going to throw the body like Ovechkin does. Crosby's probably definitely a better imitation of Gretzky. Finesse.
Or back, I mean, I remember him and Lemieux were neck and neck, or like Lemieux at one point. Yeah,
he was another good one.
Was another one. Yeah, but that was a lot of emotional time in that year. I'll fast forward 2000, 2001. Neil Smith, GM, is fired. He's replaced by Glenn Sather, and then what's a nice story, Mark Messier comes back. So how did you feel when he's like, oh, he's back? A little older, but he's back.
Just to see him back in a Rangers jersey was good, because he can retire as a Ranger as he eventually ended up doing.
Yeah. So, and it puts, because, I mean, he did what, 5 years prior to, well, not even like 5, 6 years. And then now you add those extra years. So it's more justifiable to retire his number. Even though even if you stayed 1 year and won that cup, I think if you win a cup, a perfect example is the Toronto Raptors won last year, and Kawhi Leonard one and done. They're definitely retired. Yeah, they're definitely retiring his number. 1 year, 100%. You retire that man's number because that's the goal. That's the ultimate goal, to bring the championship.
You could be one of the worst. You could have the worst season there, and you were clutch in the playoffs. You'll be idolized forever, and that's a perfect comp. Yeah.
Yeah, so Messier definitely, but it brings just more credibility to him being a lifelong. You'll probably remember him more as a Ranger than you would as an Oiler. So
I think so.
Yeah, so that was good for him coming back. And then but things aren't great. They have a playoff drought, and they don't go back to playoffs till 2005, 2006. They went through 6 different head coaches. Right. And then they get back in the playoffs under Tom Rennie, and that team is just a totally new, different team. They're led by Jaromir Jagr, who's ageless.
Should have been the MVP that year. Honestly, he should have been the MVP.
Yeah, he put up great numbers.
Great numbers that year.
Record number. Didn't he set the single season record for? Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. It was so. And also there's a rookie goalie that takes over the helm. Henrik Lundqvist, who's still the goalie technically to this day. So, I guess did you know much about him before he came in, or did you I
just knew that he was the future for sure. You saw him come in his first game and just make unbelievable saves. He still can make those saves. He is a little older now, but man, when he first came into the league, it was you just kind of saw him and you knew that something good was going to happen, that we were going to use him as quarterback per se to greatness.
Yeah. So Lundqvist is another guy that is immortalized here. So they make the playoffs under Coach Tom Rennie those four seasons, and then midway through 2009, he's fired. I mean, they don't have the greatest season. They still make the playoffs, even though, most of the teams make the playoffs anyway.
Exactly.
But he's replaced by John Tortorella, who won the Cup with Tampa Bay. So how did you feel when that changed?
That was, to me, I loved it. I loved the guy, loved Torts. He was a great coach. He was a championship-winning coach, like you said, with the Lightning, and he was a no-nonsense guy. The players had to be accountable for their actions on the ice, and he wanted guys to block shots. If you didn't block a shot, you were being benched. If you took a bad penalty in a situation, you're getting benched. It didn't matter who it was, and he was a tough guy. But I think he was probably one of the most underrated coaches in the NHL right now.
Yeah. He was very good. So 2010, they missed the playoffs in Tort's first full season. And then the next 3 seasons, they make the playoffs, including best record in the East in 2012. So that looks like a team. And just a lot of younger guys. That was like Callahan and
Callahan, Dubinsky.
Mm-hmm.
We had Stahl there. We had
Stall, yeah.
Girardi.
Mm-hmm.
We had a good squad, man. We really did. A lot of young players, and that was heartbreaking because we lost that one to the New
Yeah.
Jersey Devils in the conference
Yeah.
finals.
Eastern Conference Finals, 6 games. And they were exhausted because they
Ugh.
played the prior two series, went 7 games. So they had to
Right.
be like hurting.
And the way that Tortorella coaches, with the blocking of the shots, your body takes a beating. You don't feel it in game one and game two, but as the series
Mm-hmm.
goes on, your body starts getting those rippling effects.
Yeah. So yeah, they come up short in 2012. 2013, they make the playoffs, but they lose to Boston in 5 in the second round of the playoffs, and then Torch is fired there, after that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's gone. How did you feel when he left or fired? Did you agree with the decision that the
I thought
organization made?
it wasn't the best decision. I was in the minority with Torts. A lot of people wanted him to go. They thought his style was, antiquated, a little bit too old fashioned for the younger players. I thought, like I said, I thought he was a great coach. I was a little heartbroken by it, but the guy who followed him was not too bad.
Yeah, yeah. And Lei Vigneault is
Yeah.
hired, and his first season comes in. They make the cup. First season they make all the way to the cup finals, man,
Right.
and they have a war with the LA Kings,
Right.
so who won the cup a couple years prior to
Right.
that in 2012. So yeah, how did you feel about that playoff run and them making the cup? I know the city. I was around in the city, and the city was on fire for that.
Electric. Yeah. I think I went to a game or two in that series, and it was just nice to
Oh,
go
nice, man.
and do it. Yeah.
Oh, in the Stanley Cup Finals.
No, just like in the playoffs, like a couple of rounds before, just like you
Okay,
said,
cool,
man.
cool, cool.
Yeah, just like it was like exhilarating, man.
Yeah, I remember the cup finals because they were so expensive. Like I remember
It's
like looking at tickets,
a
and I was
preseason game
like,
is for that place is expensive, and it's
Yeah, Rangers ticket. That's why like I've been to one Ranger game my entire life. That was like in
right.
2002, and I remember it well because they were wearing that uniform you're wearing,
Uh-huh.
and they played the Canadians. So, but I went to more Islander games. It was just more convenient for
Yeah, me
me.
too,
Just
man. Me too.
going to the
Especially
island. Yeah, it was like a 15-minute drive away from where I lived in Queens, and just yeah, and the tickets were like 10 to 15 bucks. You know what I'm saying? Where
yeah,
like
yeah,
every Ranger ticket is like 80, 90. Like they're up there with like Knicks prices.
yeah.
They're the highest ticket in all the sports. But Ranger tickets, you'll be like, damn. I
Yeah.
would have went to more games if they weren't so expensive. You
In
know?
fact, during that Stanley Cup Finals, it was cheaper to fly to LA and buy a ticket and go to the game there than it
Yep.
technically was
Yep.
to go right there in the Garden. It's
Hmm.
insane. But
As a Nick, yeah.
go ahead,
I'm
no, go.
sorry, but as a Nick fan, like I feel the same way. Like, do I
Yeah.
buy tickets at the Garden or do I go to Philly, or DC, and get a $10
Yeah.
ticket and watch it there? It's really that's how it's been working.
And you can go to Brooklyn too if you want to go see them versus the Nets.
Yeah, Brooklyn's kind of expensive too. They're
Oh, they
not. They're
really?
not.
Oh,
They're no
yeah.
better. I mean, they're still in New York City. They're still a
That's
high
it.
price.
That high market.
Yeah, so it's that high market. So it sucks. But yeah, that run the cup, they lose in 5 to the LA Kings. It's a cool run, and
Yeah.
hopefully they actually kept that momentum because the following year, best record in the league, President's Trophy again. And they reached the Eastern Conference Finals, but they lose to Tampa Bay in 7, and that probably hurts more than the Cup final because it's like this team, like through the regular season, they earn that right to
to be there.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I thought that was the year we were going to win. I thought 2014 we got very lucky with the injuries to the Canadians goalie Price at that time. So 2015, I mean, that team was on fire. Henrik Lundqvist was probably played his best season, in my opinion. That was another long game set. A lot of games went to overtime or, long series. And the Eastern Conference Finals versus Lightning went to Game 7. And that puck, it was 1-0 game through 0-0 through the entire game. And
shout out to Bobby D and the Blue Notes. 2015 hurt more. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
Dude, that's where I'm getting at. Because that puck had eyes when it got shot on Lundqvist, man. It was It shot him, and it went right through him. It was like Lundqvist played great the entire game, and it went through, and we couldn't score to save our lives in that series, man. They were very like 1-goal games, but that one hurt more. I have to agree,
Yeah.
that one really hurt more.
Yeah. So yeah, that it's now after that, Glenn Sather steps down as GM. Jeff Gordon is hired. So, and he's the GM now to this day. Talk to us about Jeff Gordon. Do you see him, like, how is he running things so far?
Beautifully, honestly, this team's future is so bright. They're supposed to be a rebuild, and it's been a year and a half. I think this team is at the cusp of where they need to be, or even right where they need to be. The signing of Panarin, getting rid of doing the opposite of what the Rangers usually do, where they're signing older guys at the end of their career. Instead, now they're going younger. Mika Zibanejad. We got Panarin, like I said. Even Ryan Strome, who played for the Islanders for so long, he came to us, and he's still young. I think he's in his early 20s. He's a guy that is younger. You sign these younger guys, and it's really helping us out. And like I said, the future's so bright. You need glasses, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's definitely cool. The future, like you said, it is bright. So after 2015, Jeff Gordon is hired. 2016, they lose in the first round to Pittsburgh, which kind of sucks. And then the following year, they lose in the second round to Ottawa.
I was at that game when they lost. I was
the Ottawa game. Yeah, nothing hurts by like being at a game and then
they lose.
They just
they're shaking hands
stab you.
Again. They're throwing
and
up.
You're like,
that's our stadium, man.
Yeah, man. It's a arena. I'm gonna tell you a real story. As a diehard Knick fan, I went to all the home games in the '99 NBA Finals.
Oh, awesome! And, that's great.
Yeah, and even though we were weren't the favorites to win it, and Ewing, Patrick Ewing was hurt, so he couldn't show up. I mean, would it have made a difference? Probably a little bit more, but I mean, this with Duncan at that time was on fire, and David Robinson, nothing was stopping them. But to watch them celebrate at the Garden, the Spurs celebrate. I mean, I stood there. I was like, all right, I'm here. I might as well watch.
Might as well watch it. Exactly. I sentimented the same thing, man.
So it's like, all right, yeah. So it kind of hurts. Actually, it's funny because like the only championship series, like I've been to a World Series. I went to the Mets in 2015, and I watched the Kansas City beat the Mets in that.
You're bad luck, bro. You should just stay.
Yeah, home. I know. When it was Matt Harvey's like, I'm staying in the game. I was like, yeah, we're all like, it's like a movie. It's like a movie because we're like, yeah, keep him in the game. And it's not really. It's mostly Daniel Murphy couldn't feel for shit. So it was that, and I saw that, and I went to the Super Bowl at MetLife when the
Carolina.
Yeah, it was a bucket list thing. I was like, I'll probably never go. Like, I'm a Jets fan, and so I'm like, yeah, I'm probably never going to see them. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let me go to the Super Bowl and just see what it's about, just to see. And going to a Super Bowl is so weird because all the commercial. It's not like a regular football game.
Right. It's different.
It's very overglorified, glamorized. I mean, for the fans in attendance, it really takes out the. It's a show. It's a big show. And rightfully so. I mean, it's
highest rated sports
event. Yeah, at least in America, I know that.
Yeah.
So it's fun, but but I never been to a Stanley. That's why when they went to the Cup in 2014, I really was like, you know what? Let me take a shot. Now I looked at the prices. I was like, ugh.
They were too high, man. I couldn't even imagine.
And even though I did spend crazy prices on going to the Super Bowl, but I couldn't justify paying those crazy prices.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. So like back to they lose the second round of audio. You were there, and it sucks. Watching that, and then 2018 it dips. They missed the playoffs entirely, and then they fire Vigneault, and then they hire David Quinn, who has no professional hockey coaching experience, just mostly college and whatever. Yeah. But no, he was assistant coach. I get that's not really head coaching experience.
Yeah, no.
But how do you feel about that hire?
Well, I think the Rangers hired him because of his ability to make develop young players, and the Rangers were going young, like I said before, and he gets a lot out of these young guys. The kids want to play for him. I mean, I love him. I think he's great. I think he's gonna fit well with this team because we have a lot of kids that are gonna develop. We had the first overall pick coming up. We have a lot of these young rookies. Shesterkin, he's helping with the development of these players, and a lot of these kids are just coming out of college, and so it's kind of like a comfort zone for them because they're used to that coach's style of coaching, really.
Yeah.
And he
So,
plays. Sorry, but he holds
Yeah, go ahead.
players. He also holds players accountable too. He's not, he doesn't baby them. If someone makes a bad play, he's going to bench him. And to me, he's the perfect middle between Torts and Vigneault. He's not
Perfect
too much
balance.
of a perfect balance. He's got the balance exactly.
Yeah. So so now we'll fast forward to present time, 2020, COVID hits. All sports are on hiatus, and they resume the NHL season in the bubble. And Rangers 2020 they play a qualifying round against the best of 5 against Carolina Hurricanes, but they get swept. So how did you feel? Did you feel good about that series, or was it like, all right, let's see, let's hope and pray that they did pull this off?
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't like too hurt because, like you said, they were on long layoff. I think they played very flat. I don't think they were ready to play.
Yeah, I think the COVID, and I'm like, and I hate to bring it back to NBA things, but Miami Heat, I mean, are in the finals. If COVID didn't happen, I don't know if they'll be in that position.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think the Rangers would have they might not even made the playoffs. I mean, we were on an extraordinary run at that. I don't know if you remember that point of the season. We were just winning games left and right. I remember going to the last game I went to was a Ranger Islander game, and it was in March, and it was the overtime goal by Zibanejad, which, it's found like a Rangers home game, but that's normal for Nassau Coliseum. But we were just on a pace. We were about to pass the Islanders. We were tied with the Islanders at that point. And, who knows if the season stayed the way it would have, where we would have went. But you know what? Like I said, the future is so bright that I'm very happy.
To bring it up now, Rangers got the number 1 pick, and more likely it's projected to be Alexis Lafreniere. Tell us what you know and what you have seen, and is this guy the real deal? Is he another top guy to
from what I hear, he is a two-way player. He's very skilled, very fast. I don't know too much about him, but he is a stud from what I hear, and he's going number 1 for a reason. So don't trade that pick because this is
who would they trade him for? I guess people are trying to throw out some good
some
players
veterans,
for that number pick. Yeah,
maybe some picks they could throw. Could have take a 1 pick and make that much more, but it doesn't make sense. You're rebuilding. We lucked out with getting this number 1 pick. Let's use this to our advantage because we're only going to build from here. Right now, we are at the bottom of Mount Everest. We got to start climbing, and he's going to be the guy. I don't know if he's going to be the guy, but he's.
But he could be a once in a generational player.
That's what they say. That's the word I hear a lot is a generational player. So.
And if you got that, I mean, even if he doesn't live to be the a Gretzky, I mean, you'll probably be happy with a, what I'm saying, with a.
I'll take a Graves. I'll take it out of
Graves. Yeah. who was great, man. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess 2 questions. I guess before we leave, 2020. Henrik Lundqvist is basically on his last leg. How do you feel? What was his legacy be as a Ranger?
He was one of the greatest goalies to put on the uniform. I love Richter. There's no disrespect to Richter. Richter won a cup. I think that Henrik Lundqvist has a bit more talent than he did. Like I said, no disrespect. I'm wearing the guy's jersey. I have no disrespect to Richter. And it is very unfortunate that we never had goal scorers in the playoffs to give him a cup because he deserves it. And if Henrik Lundqvist goes on to another team, which is a very big possibility, in the next coming weeks, this could happen. If I hope he goes to a cup contender and he wins a cup with another team.
You'll be happy for him. Yeah. Just
as long as it's not the Islanders, then we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you very much for joining me, man. I appreciate it. It was fun. Anything you want to plug before we leave, man?
You know about it. It's this big comedy weekend coming up.
Yeah.
It's at CM Theater in Oakdale. It's brought to by them and the Oakdale Brew House. There's tickets are $35. It includes wings, sliders, big pretzel. Johnny's going to be headlining on Friday, Saturday.
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I hope.
And we got Mike Keegan on Saturday headlining. I'll be hosting on Friday night, and Nick Tardo will be hosting on Saturday night. It's going to be a great event. Come on out, help support comics and local theater. Tickets can be purchased.
Yeah, get your tickets.
CNPack.com, guys.
Yeah, I need to get paid. So. Get your ticket. All right, man. Eric, I'll see you then.
Yes.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, man. All right, take care. All right, that was Erick Johanson. Follow him on his Twitter. Come to the show Friday. I'll be headlining and hoping to give you a good show. All right. This is for Rooting for Laundry, episode 24. Like I said, follow us at Root for Laundry on IG and Twitter. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube page or my YouTube page, Johnny McDonald. And thank you for joining us. Be safe, and thank you again.